What up, what up, what up? It's the Matty Making Music Podcast. Welcome to my Twitch. Welcome to the live podcast. And boy, do we have a real special guest for you guys today. We got this very, very talented musician, producer, singer, songwriter on with me today. Guys, she has a single out right now called No One Loves Me Like I Do. You just heard it right here on the stream. And you'll hear it at the beginning of the podcast, and you'll hear it at the end because I'll cut it in that way because I like editing stuff to do that. So let me bring in my incredibly special guest. Guys, give it up for Andrea Fern. What's up? Woo! We're here.
Back together again.
Yes, we're doing it. Woo!
You got me in the live stream.
That was so good.
I'm also watching it right here.
Oh my gosh. It has been a while since we've got a chance to talk and hang a little bit. We've hung in real life too. You've come to LA a couple times and we've done some music stuff together and did that deal too. So it's good to see you. How are you doing? I can see your leg in the mirror. I just realized I can see your leg.
Oh no. I'm wearing shorts.
That's great.
Watch me eating like some
Yeah. Like you have some like adobo on the side or something. It's like, what? That's so funny.
Oh man.
Andrea, thank you for jumping on here on the Matty Making Music Podcast. I've been having a couple different guests come through. We're doing the dang thing, having a lot of fun doing it. And I wanted to make sure you got in on the fun too, because I love doing music with you. I love talking to you about music, and I love the music that you put out. You're always doing some really cool stuff.
Thank you. Thank you.
I guess the first place to start, I'd want to start is where did you grow up, and then kind of how did your upbringing lead you into the life of music that you're now in?
Yeah, so I was born in the Philippines. I was born in Manila, and then my parents moved over here when I was about 2.
Oh, okay.
And
okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were born here. Okay, I didn't even know.
Oh,
that.
no.
That's crazy.
Okay. I was born in the motherland.
Yeah.
The mainland. I was born in the Philippines. I moved here when I was 6. I moved to Houston after my parents, they did all the paperwork and stuff. And then, and I've been here ever since. I still know the language. I can't really speak it that much because my vocabulary is the same as a 6-year-old. So I don't remember some words.
So you can speak it, but it's a little bit just like lower level. Yeah,
like I can get by, because I understand it fluently, but it'd be hard for me to say some words if I was like trying to communicate because I don't know some of them because, like I said, I was only 6 years old.
Right.
So I don't really know a lot of the vocabulary.
But you can understand.
Yeah,
this is like the question I get from every Filipino. I'm like, I don't speak, but they're like, but you can understand. I'm like, kinda. Just talk to me in English because then I'll understand. I'll understand exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's definitely like I depend on. I guess it would be called Taglish, where they kind of put in a lot of English into it. So it just makes it easier. So
everyone even I mean people in the Philippines like speak English anyway. So
that's what I've noticed.
Get by. Yeah.
So you moved to Houston and you've never left Houston? You never moved from Houston?
I've never left Houston. I'm trying to leave.
Right.
I'm trying to leave Houston. I'm trying to move to like somewhere that's more artistic, like LA.
Yeah.
Like I've told you and I've shared you in the past. But I've been in Houston all my life. I grew up in church. How I got into music is
you played in church is what you mean? You sang in church and played?
I still play in church. I play the guitar. That's all I do. But how I got into music was I don't know. I think I just had my dad was always had a guitar in the house. But I never really wanted to play. I would pluck the strings and then I guess I'll be
mess around.
mess around. And then, he's always had music like playing. Like I remember every morning for school, like he'd be playing like the classic, like the super old school, like Hillsong stuff.
Oh, okay.
Like the really good stuff.
Yeah.
And like I just remember like waking up like all groggy as a 6-year-old and hearing it and hearing like our God is an awesome God.
Oh wow. So old school.
Old school.
So who plays in your family? Who's a musician in your family?
Everyone except my mom.
Okay, gotcha.
Everyone except my mom. Yeah, my dad plays guitar and he sings. My brothers play drums, and one of my older brothers plays the drums, the bass, a little bit of guitar, and then my other brother. I have 4 brothers.
Wow.
But
and you're the youngest?
I am the youngest, and I'm the only girl.
That's a trip.
Yeah, I know.
But all 4 of them play.
So no, only 3 of them, because one is back in the Philippines and he's a cop, so he doesn't really play.
Gotcha. Okay.
Instruments, but my other brother, who is the oldest, that's in the US, he sings and he plays guitar a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah, and he plays on the worship. So all of us play in the worship team at church.
You guys all play? Are you guys basically the band?
Basically, yeah, because like my older brother is married to one of the singers in the church. So it's basically
what do you play for the band?
I play guitar. I don't sing because I started in the band when I was like young teen, maybe like 14, and like back then I couldn't sing and no one thought I could sing, so I never sung. So I don't play guitar. I sang sometimes.
Right.
But that's a rare moment.
You're talking about fully like leading.
Yeah, fully leading.
Gotcha. Didn't know that.
Yeah.
But now you sing, so like they don't let you sing?
Man, I would love to, but we have a lot of singers already, and like we don't have that many mics. But
gotcha.
I would.
Is that a Filipino
I would love
church?
to sing. It is. It's called Biaya.
Yeah, that's why there's so many singers. Let's be honest.
Yeah, there's so many singers.
That's why there's so many singers.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Okay, so started in church. Did you do anything music in school? Like, were you in the bands or choir or anything?
No.
What?
Like the first like interest of music that I wanted, that like kind of like I guess sparked my interest for music, was when my friend, like my very first friend that I met when I came to the US, she had a lot of DVDs and stuff like that, and like she would always like come over, and then she brought School of Rock.
Oh
yeah, she brought School of Rock, and I was like, okay, let's watch it.
Yeah. Right? That's the part where the kids sing that part, right?
Yeah, I love that part. So good. Yeah, but ever since that moment, I was like, what? That is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life, and I want to do that. And the rest is history.
If I'm not mistaken, the band, okay, let me see if I can get this right. The band that Jack Black was in and they kicked him out? Or maybe, no.
Yeah.
No. Maybe it was the band they were singing against at the very end. The lead singer is the guy who originally played Roger on Rent.
Yeah,
am I crazy?
Know that.
Is that right? I don't know. No. I can't remember.
Yes, that's right. That's correct.
If it was the band he was originally in, or if it was just the
original band. The original band.
So
yeah.
I always remember that because when he sings, you're like, wait, I feel like I'm listening to Rent right now.
Yeah, I know. Yo, one of the songs that they sang in the Battle of the Bands is really good, and I had it downloaded on my phone in high school because I was like, wait, what's that song from School of Rock? Is really good. It was like, heal me, I'm heart sick. I was like, that song is sick. Download it. And no one knew I was listening to that.
That's such a weird pull because like they have all the other songs, like the Jack Black and the kids songs. That's so funny.
That song was I love that movie. Yeah. So that was a movie that really like made me want to be like, I want to do that. That thing is cool. Like I didn't know that.
So what did you get into first? Like after that, guitar, piano?
After that movie, I literally begged my parents, like, can I get a guitar, please? And because obviously my dad's guitar was a big like acoustic, like guitar,
and like electric guitar.
Yeah, I want an electric guitar.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but I think at the time they couldn't really afford, and like I guess they didn't know how serious I was because I was only probably like 7.
Sure, it's like how much do you want to spend on one? Because they can be, $100 to
exactly
thousands. Of bucks. Yeah.
So I think they went to a flea market and got me like a first act, like mini, like the ones that like
guitar and the amp.
No.
There wasn't even an amp with it?
No, it was an acoustic guitar. It was an acoustic guitar. It was just like a small, it was like a first act, like whatever. And I was like, but I was pumped about it. I was like,
yeah.
Yeah, but so and then I tried to take lessons from my friend who was the guitarist in our church band.
Okay.
And my friend that brought the DVD and showed me like School of Rock, like she had a really cool like blue like guitar. It was really cool, and then I had this like janky flea market guitar. Right. I was embarrassed. No, but yeah, and then
were you able to? Did it sound good enough to play on? No.
I mean, I had no idea. I don't remember how it sounded like, but I know that after maybe like a week, I didn't care about it, and
right.
Then I went over to drums, and that was like kind of like my first like.
So you ended up kind of learning more about drums first.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I find it if you're trying to learn something and you're just learning on the cheapest thing possible, just whatever music or whatever it is, I think it's harder to stick with because you're like, this sucks.
It is. Yeah.
I sound terrible. Good. It hurts my fingers. Like I feel like there's rust onto my fingers and stuff, So yeah. So that's I can see why like you kind of just fell off in the first week.
Yeah,
this thing sucks. I remember my first guitar. The reason I asked if there was an amp is because my first was an electric guitar, cherry red Stratocaster, Squire Stratocaster that came with like a little mini amp. And then this might sound real dated, but I'm gonna say it. It came with an instructional. Not DVD, VHS.
VHS. Wow. Okay.
So this is
old. That's old.
And it was like, and I popped the VHS in. It was like how I learned my first like 4 chords, just all those like open chords.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can play guitar because like I was actually learning it. I had it plugged in, and then I remember just playing with the guitar like strapped to my back and like running around the house and stuff. And I remember like, how like sometimes the straps don't hold on.
Yeah,
running around and the guitar just goes flying. I'm like, no.
I hate that.
But yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. So you switch over to drums. How did drums go? I didn't even know you played drums.
Oh yeah, I play drums. Not as good anymore. I can play the MIDI pretty well
on the keyboard and that stuff.
Yeah. I just got into drums just because it was much easier to kind of like learn, because obviously
you're learning kind of basic.
It's stuff. Yeah, like beats and patterns and stuff like that. And it was much easier. And so I was like, okay, I'll just stick to drums. And my brother tried playing bass.
Okay.
My brother, who is like closer to my age, he's only 2 years older, but like we were like really close, and we loved like School of Rock, and like he loved being Freddie, like he loved the drums from the start. Yeah. Okay. So like he was that guy, and I always loved the guitar, but then like we ended up kind of like switching and stuff like that. But yeah, I wanted to learn the drums because I thought it was cool, and it was much easier than guitar for sure.
Right.
And then
So you got the drums, and then you end up coming back to guitar? Did you learn bass, or what ended up happening?
Yes. So, like, I guess my music timeline was like it kind of began in like 2005 through 2008. I would say or it didn't last long because after that I didn't really care like for playing instruments. Because I was just a kid, so I just wanted to do kid stuff.
How old are you around this time?
I was probably 8, 7, 8. Yeah.
Oh my God. I was in
Or
college.
9.
I was in college when you're going through your musical journey. I'm in music. I'm in music school while you're going through this musical journey.
In Berkeley, guys. In Berkeley. I always have to mention where.
Oh, yeah.
As he's running to John.
It's a different, that's I award for you because you and me and me are big John Mayer fans. He's here on Friday doing the solo show. I don't think it's going to happen. It's just, I looked up those prices and it's just.
Yeah, it's expensive.
It's tough. And they're like nosebleeds, So it's just
I know.
And I've been there for shows and I've been in the, in the bowl.
In the pit,
But not like all the way up
not
there,
high up.
It's just like, it's tough.
It's not worth it.
I don't think so. And I love his stuff, but I've also seen him a million times.
I know.
So.
Exactly. So I think you'll be okay.
I think I'll be okay, And it's just solo stuff. So you're not with the full band. So you kind of want the full production. That's that part of it. But maybe there's something more intimate about the solo.
It is more intimate, but like I wish I could hear him with the band.
Right.
That would have been life-changing for me.
Hey,
man.
Just have to wait for, I guess, next year. Because he's just doing, this year is all he's doing just the solo.
Yeah.
Thing, right? Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Because he was touring this record, Sob Rock.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
But he did Sob Rock, but he was doing like all the hits too. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like he was just doing the full record. But
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So John Mayer, was that kind of where you picked up
No.
guitar yet? Or
no? Like the funniest thing is that I don't even recall when I got into John Mayer.
Oh,
that was like it's almost like the same.
It's a weird. It's also a weird thing because you're so young. I have another friend who's like you, who's very young, who loves John Mayer. And the only reason me and her, not the only reason, but like I go to her with all the John Mayer concerts because like she has none of her friends listen to John Mayer. He's like he's like an old guy, So it's like how am I gonna go this,
Yeah, no, so about like 2008, so like I didn't really care for learning how to play an instrument just because like I was just, I don't know, it just never happened. And then like comes like 2008, my like dad starts teaching my brother who's the one that I was like really close with. He started teaching him guitar, and then I was like, and I felt left out because
this is your older brother, and he's like your dad's kind of giving attention, and
and plus he was the one I always like hung out with in the house because so I was like, if he was learning guitar, I wasn't doing anything.
You were doing anything, yeah.
I wasn't doing anything, so I was just watching. And I was like, I want to learn too. And then my dad bought this guitar at a flea market. It was a Hofner. I wish I did have it. And then I lent it to a friend, and then
never got it back.
Never got it back. And I love that guitar. It was a great guitar.
That's an acoustic as well.
Yeah. It was an acoustic guitar, and so he bought another guitar for us, and like he taught us 3 chords, and it was like a Filipino worship song. It was hilarious because back then we had a camcorder, and like I swear he recorded us like
playing
playing and him singing in the background when he was recording. It was great. I wish I still had it, but we don't know where that camcorder is. So
funny.
And so so he taught us only 3 chords. I think it was like D, E minor, and A.
Classics.
And so like we were just like playing and stuff. I don't think I was that good because I had the tape from that camcorder back in 2008 through 2009 when I was just learning, and I got it developed to
into
a CD. Okay, into a DVD back in 2020 because I was like, I want to know what's in here, right? And because it was like a time capsule basically. And then I watched it with my friends, and like there was a clip where it was me and my brother playing guitar, and my friend who had the School of Rock CD. Yeah, she was a great singer. She's a great singer. Her mom was an amazing singer, and her dad was an amazing pianist. So she was so she sang the song, and like it was a Jonas Brothers song. Then like I was playing guitar. It was probably the wrong chords, and it sounded terrible. I think the guitar was
when you watched it back.
Yeah, no, I was like, what chords am I playing? Because I can read, like, like I'm
you can see where your fingers are. You're like, that's an A chord. And then you hear it and you're like, that's not an A chord.
Yeah, no, like, no.
It may have been out of tune or something. Yeah,
it's probably out of tune. But yeah, then after that, my brother kind of like, I guess he didn't want to learn anymore, but I was so interested and I was like, I want to learn more. So I basically took it on myself and I taught myself how to play like other chords. And I would call like my friend who was a guitarist from church and be like, how do you play a B chord? I was just like 10-year-old me and like me like,
how do you even describe that like over the phone? I don't even understand how you would.
I know. No, because I would go on YouTube on Google and be like, I don't know what other like chords for this song. And I was like, right. I don't know how to play B chord. So I was like, and like I don't know how to like read tabs. So I would call up my friend and was like, hey, how do you play a B chord? And I was literally only like 9 or 10. It was hilarious. Yeah.
9 or 10. That's much younger than I started.
Oh yeah. I started when I was 8.
Yeah. I was 12 or 13. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
But
it shows you're a much more talented guitar player than I am. I also don't play that much guitar. That's why.
Yeah.
That's also why.
You're a pianist.
I'm playing piano more often. And truthfully, it's not even piano more often. It's just like I'm producing stuff more often, which I think is a different skill set. So actually, let's kind of move along. So drums, guitar, you play some bass. Did you play bass when you were younger, or you kind of picked that up?
No, I picked that up back in I picked that up back in 2019.
Okay, so that's more recent.
But
so the big part for me is, when did you start singing? You said you weren't singing in church and stuff. So when did you start singing? When you were a teenager? Did you even think you had a voice? Like, I don't even understand.
Yeah, I was so confident in my voice, but people weren't, and I was so discouraged.
Oh
no, because okay, so after that I was only a guitarist. That's like from 2008 like through on. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna learn to play guitar. Like I want to be a guitarist, yada. And then I hear this song, and so like the same friend who told me about School of Rock, she went I think this is fast forward to 2010, maybe 9 or 10.
Like a couple of years later.
Yeah. She shows me a YouTube video, of Justin Bieber's first song, like one time. Yeah. And I was like, who is this kid? Is he trying to be like Chris Brown or Justin McCartney? Yeah. And I was like, who's this kid? But then like he ends up like blowing up and stuff. And then I was like, wow, I want to sing too. If he can do it, he's so young. He was 15. Right. I was like,
you were younger than that. Yeah.
I was thinking that. I was like, maybe I can sing too, maybe. And so I tried, I tried singing, but then I guess it wasn't that great because people weren't really like shouting encore.
But also you're like, what, 10, 11 years old?
11, 12,
yeah, 11 or 12.
Right.
Like, I mean, I don't know what you'd be expecting at that age, I guess. Like, you're still learning and trying to understand. I don't know. Maybe it's also like, especially nowadays, it's so common to like just scroll through like reels and stuff. And there's like these kid prodigies like
I know,
playing and singing and stuff. And it's like, you expect everyone to be like that. And it's just, the thing is, it's just not like that for most people. That's a very small percentage that these people are prodigies. The rest of us have to work very hard to maybe make it or not at all. So, maybe as a kid, you're setting your expectations so high and just hoping that like, it comes together or something.
I think I wanted to be at that age. I just wanted to be like famous. I wanted to be on Disney Channel. I wanted to act, even though I can't act. I can't act for crap. Now I can't like I don't know why I wanted to be an actor back then.
Is that a real thing? Like you wanted to
Yeah, I wanted to be on Disney Channel and stuff like that. But like I noticed that I couldn't act. Like later on in life, I'm like, and I'm terrified if someone like asks me to like play along with something.
Did you do theater or anything in in school?
No. I never did theater.
I am so incredibly surprised how much none of it was in school. Like, just, I talked to people, and myself included, like, I did music all through school, high school. I'm so surprised that none of that was based out of there. I guess out of church, right? That's where your basis comes from.
Yeah, well, growing up, I didn't really care for musicals. Up until like in the age of Glee, like that was like I think like I tell everyone this about like my music taste, because people will be like, are like, oh my gosh, your music taste is so broad and wide, and I was like, well, I have to thank Glee for that. Like Glee, like opened up so many genres for me. Like
that was
so
prime time for Glee too, when you were in high school, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe earlier?
I was probably in middle school. I was in middle school, so I was so into Glee. Like, it made me really love, like Broadway songs, like the old school stuff, the '80s stuff, like Journey.
You know what's crazy about Glee is I don't understand how they get the licenses for all of those songs. Because it's like, how expensive is that? Like,
oh my gosh,
like Michael Jackson songs and Journey and all these songs, Whitney Houston and stuff. It's like, what?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's Fox.
It's Fox. They got the money.
Fox,
You're right.
They got the money.
They got
Fox has the money, and like it was a big show.
But it made some big stars from that show too.
Oh, huge. But there's like a curse. There's like a
Isn't there
curse.
like a couple people from that show who are like dead?
Yeah, there's 3 people.
That's insane.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, but I was a big Glee.
Yeah,
and, like,
so that was a big part. So
so that's
you were singing those songs. You were singing along with those songs.
I was. Yeah.
What'd you do? Find some -1, some karaoke? Like, is that how you were doing it?
I don't even think I probably just was on YouTube, but like after watching Glee, probably when I was around in middle school, I got into a lot of old school stuff. I started listening to a lot of '80s, a lot of '50s music. Like I was listening to like the Four Tops when I was like in 7th grade, and people would be like, what are you listening to? And they're listening to like, I don't know, like Beyonce or like, whatever.
It's so weird being a kid with like an old soul who just like really enjoys that stuff, and people are like, what is this?
I was like, this is like so good, like it's so like, so that was kind of like my background with music and stuff.
And so you just kind of started singing. Did you start putting together the singing with the instruments and stuff? How did that go? Like you playing guitar and singing? Like what did that start?
Like the dream always was to like, be a pop star and play guitar and sing. But as in my early days, I couldn't really sing, even though I loved it. Like I joined every talent show, even though I couldn't sing, but I played instruments very well. So that was like the thing that made people like, oh, cool. I've always loved to sing, but I never took lessons, even though like my dad wanted me to. I think we had trouble trying to find a good teacher.
Like a voice teacher, you mean?
Yeah, like a voice teacher. But it just never happened. And so I was like, okay, I'll just try to, I'll just sing and I'll try to improve myself. And I think that's just what happened. I just kept, I kept singing. Or also like with the thing with me, how I learned a lot of things is it's through imitation.
Right.
Like I taught myself how to play golf by watching people on YouTube. And I was just watching people like swing and stuff, and that's how I learned how to swing. And with singing, I would just imitate like singers, like how they sang. I can't really do vibrato that well, but now I think I'm kind of like getting it down slowly because I've been trying to imitate like a lot of the singers, like old singers. And I guess just practice. I sang all the time around the house, and I was just like practice basically, and then I'm here writing songs.
And now you're here, right? So
I'm here.
You're writing songs. Is that a more recent thing for your writing songs, or have you always been kind of writing songs when you already started playing guitar and stuff?
Yeah, probably like as soon as I learned those 3 chords from my dad, I was like, I want to write a song, even though it was like not really good. I remember being in 5th grade. I had like my notebook, and I would write lyrics and stuff, even though it wasn't good. It was probably about like heartbreak that I never felt. You know how like how young people are. Like the first songs are always the saddest because we don't know what's right about. We just try to imitate whatever.
How do you write without living life first? So you just start like pulling from movies and stories you've heard or whatever. Interesting.
Yeah. So I've always written, but they weren't really good, And so
I would venture to say a lot of people's first bunch of songs are probably.
Oh yeah.
Bad. I'll tell you right now that my first bunch of songs I've done in my life were awful. You know what I mean? Yeah. I have a hard time like going back listening to stuff I've done before because I'm like, I'm so much better now. Like, I was so bad at first, but it's not your bad. It's just you're new, you're inexperienced, you're still learning, And so that's with everything. Yeah, we give ourselves, we don't give ourselves enough slack for when we're starting.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's interesting. So you're starting to write songs and are you starting to get interested in like producing and stuff? Because this is where you and me connect a lot, writing songs and producing.
Oh yeah.
How did you get into the full aspect? Because you already play, you sing, you're starting to write, you're writing your songs. Producing is definitely the next step. I feel like. The culmination of all of that. Putting all that together.
Yeah, exactly. Here's like the really funny thing is because whenever I started playing music and having this love for music at a young age, but I was really discouraged. I was discouraged whenever I opened my mouth to sing,
right.
Which made me realize that I'm not gonna be a musician or whatever because I can't sing and I can do some other things because I was also interested in photography. I was interested in filmmaking. So when I was in high school, it just became a hobby. Like it wasn't anything like serious. Okay. Yeah. It was a side. Like music was not like my priority. Mm-hmm. And in high school, I was set to. I wanted to be a designer in fashion. I want to be a men's fashion. Yeah. I love fashion. I still do. I love fashion. But yeah, I wanted to be a designer. But I didn't get into any of the school, so I was just in school. I was getting a business. I forgot what kind of business degree I was trying to get, but then
in college you're talking about?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, in college, and then I really wanted to be a filmmaker because I was doing a lot of this like freelance stuff on the side to make money. Like I was doing weddings and whatever, and like I had people be like, "Wow, I think you're really good at this. I think that you should be a filmmaker." And I was like, "Yeah, I do." And I loved movies as well. I would watch probably 1 movie or 2 movies a day.
Oh wow!
Right after school, I would watch a movie. Then after that, like at night, I'd watch the movie. So I loved movies, and like that was like my set goal up until 2020 when the pandemic hit.
Wow! So you were on this path.
I was
to be more into filmmaking,
mm-hmm.
And then the pandemic hit, right?
And I was forced to be at home.
You're forced to be at home, and
after watching a lot of Game of Thrones,
you're just watching everything.
I'm just watching everything, and
watching everything.
And then towards like the summer, towards the summer around like May, I get really bored and I start just like playing guitar. Mm-hmm. Then I start to write some songs. No, actually, before that, in 2019, I bought this like MIDI thing that I can plug into my laptop. And I was like, oh, cool! I can play like the piano and like I can
the little keyboard, right.
Yeah. So and like I was messing around with GarageBand, and I was like, okay, I don't know what to make. So I was just like, I just started making just like crap, and it wasn't that good. And then I just like pushed it aside, and then 2020 happened. I was like, maybe I can do like a remix or something. So, so I did this remix for a Dua Lipa song. I forgot what the song called. I think it's "Don't Stop Now," whatever. And I did like a remix, and I was like, okay, this is kind of good, like EDM stuff. I was like, I didn't know that I even like EDM stuff because I never listened to rave stuff. But I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then after that, I started writing my first song that I haven't written in years. It's called Dream Run Away. Then I wrote it literally in less than an hour. I called my friends right after. I played it for them, and they were like, "Wow, it's really good. I think you should release it." And I was like, "Yeah, maybe I should."
Right. And so you end up recording it. Did you end up
Recording it.
producing like the music for it too? Or
I did.
It was just
Okay. It was just a guitar. It was just a guitar because I didn't really know how
like,
to.
You're talking about like drums and all that.
Yeah.
But you got a taste of recording it.
Yeah.
Sitting down, recording the
I had this like newer USB mic that I got on Amazon.
Oh, so you weren't rocking the mic with the interface.
Not
and
this setup. Not this setup. Like I did not know how to use like the interface and stuff. And like I think I bought an interface with the mic like this back in 2019, but I was like, this is too many wires. I don't want to do that. So I returned it and bought the USB mic.
It's simpler. It's definitely simpler.
It is simpler. But then I got really serious and I was like, maybe I should like invest in
like a recording setup.
Yeah. And I had a mic that I begged my dad to buy when I was like age 13. It's MXL.
Oh yeah.
900. It was like my first mic. And then I was like, wait, I have a mic. And so I used that, and all I had to buy was an interface, and then the rest history.
MXL, I used my MXL for years. I recorded my first.
Yeah, it's a great mic. It's a great mic.
Album, my first album, EP.
Me too.
MXL, So it's a great mic.
Yeah, it is a great mic.
So you started kind of writing and started recording stuff. That's probably closer to the time we first met.
Yeah,
doing like streaming and stuff. And you were so when we first met, you were kind of starting to get into production and starting to put the track together for your songs. Is that kind of timeline wise with that?
When we met, I already released my first EP. And and from then I was I was in the zone of like producing my own music. And
cool.
I guess my first big production with band with like instruments was Wonderful.
Yes.
And I did it all like with like a MIDI. Like towards the end of 2020, I literally like I spent all my money on gear. I bought an interface. Hey, it was the unemployment check.
Yeah. You're starting to get this money in, and you're like, what can I spend this on? Because you're not going out.
Yeah, I know. So. Yeah, exactly. So what I did was I bought an iMac because I couldn't really work on my MacBook Air because it was really old.
It didn't have enough processing power.
Yeah. And I've always had Logic because it came with a student plan that I paid for because I needed to get an editing software, and I wanted
it was all just included.
Yeah, it was all there, but I didn't know how to use Logic, and so I was like, I'll just use GarageBand.
Right.
But then I learned how to play Logic, and I got like an iMac. I got this MIDI, I got an interface, and I got speakers. And then I was like, all right, I'm in it to win it. And then I wrote
you started putting the money in. You're like, all right, I got to at least produce an EP.
Yeah.
Make this somewhat worth it.
Yeah, no. So after I wrote like my first song, and after I released it, I was writing constantly. I was writing every day.
Still writing.
Like I am still writing constantly. But then I was like, whoa, like I'm writing and it's kind of good. But then like now, whenever I hear like the songs back, and I was like, it wasn't that good.
That's exactly how I feel.
That's how it is. That's how it is.
Because you end up learning and get better. That's why.
Yeah.
You're always learning. That's great. All right. We are up to date now. So I want to talk about process. I want to talk about your creative process, your writing process. You just released this song. Hey, Kyle, what's up, baby? Welcome to the chat.
Yo.
Your writing process. You got your record out right now. Your latest record.
Yes.
We played it at the beginning of the
Woo!
Stream. No One Loves Me Like I Do. I heard it prior to coming out. I loved it.
Of course.
So when you start coming up with these tracks, I know you'll have a lot of stuff you've been working on. Where does your mind go? Are you starting with a concept? Are you starting with a chord progression? Are you starting with the first lyric? Are you starting with just the title? Like where do you go? Where do you start from this stuff?
Oh man, writing this song, it was a different process.
Yeah.
It was a different process.
It's a different process than usually.
Yeah.
So what is this process that you did for this one, and then what is it?
So for this song, this process, I was on YouTube and I was trying to find some backing tracks because I wanted to practice soloing like on the guitar.
Oh, I
see.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at this time I was I don't know, I went on a deep John Mayer like dive and like in the rabbit hole.
Right.
Because I'm bored because I was unemployed.
Right.
So all I did was on YouTube and I was like, and then I saw a video of him and Keith Urban playing Don't Let Me Down.
Oh, great song. Yeah.
And I had no idea that that Keith Urban like played guitar like
shreds?
that.
Yeah.
Shreds.
Keith Urban shreds too. Yeah.
He shreds. He has like a metal background. I can hear it whenever I was listening to that performance. But then I was like, wow, that's really cool. Like if I get the chance to play with John Mayer, like I want to be able to trade solos with him,
I love that.
And so yeah. And so I was like, okay, let me try to learn how to ad lib, I guess, because I know how to play guitar, but that's like the only thing that's holding me back is I don't really know how to solo that well or to ad lib that well. Probably because I don't know scales as much as I wanted to. And so I found these really cool backing tracks on YouTube, and like it had like the key and the scale, which I can just follow and look at. And then I came across this one, it was like a chord progression. It was really cool. I think it was in the key of D minor, I think. And I was like, and it had that John Mayer tone. I was like, that's pretty cool. It had like the drums and everything. I was like, I'm gonna steal that. So I took that chord progression, and then I was like, I think I can write this. This is a really groovy like thing, and like I've never really worked with complex chords unless it was given to me. And so I was like, wow, this is really like complex. Like as of now, if you ask me to play it, I don't know the chords.
So how did you put it in the song?
I mean, it showed the chords, but I don't have it memorized.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I see what you mean.
Yeah. Because it's like a lot of changes. So like if you ask me to play it, I don't know where to start. But yeah.
So that one you started by being inspired by trying to learn something new.
Yeah. How to solo.
So what's your usual process? Is it just you plucking away at the guitar and singing something?
Yeah. I play whatever like chord progression that I'm feeling. And then if something happens, it happens. But I'm not usually in the mood to write songs. Like I don't sit down and be like, okay, I want to write a song. Like I usually want to write a song if something happens, like experience and stuff, and I'm like, maybe like how can I like express my feelings, and I do that through song. And I was like, okay, maybe I can just express how I feel like through song and have it out there instead of like talk to somebody. So that's kind of like what I do now is like heartbreak and stuff. Like instead of like after writing in my journal, I'm like, maybe I can use this for like a song material. Then I find
the journal is just your personal journal, or is that like a songwriting?
I have a songwriting journal, but a lot of the songs are on my iPad. It's like a notes thing.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't. It's just a personal journal. Like if I want to say more and I've already written like a page or two, I'm like, okay, maybe I can put it in a song. Yeah.
Gotcha. Do you ever just start with lyrics?
No, it's hard.
Really?
Wait. I think I did that once, but it was only a phrase. Like I had a phrase that was stuck in my head for a while.
And then
it was
you expounded that.
And then I wrote.
You set music to it, or you already had the music and then you had that lyric.
So I had a phrase. It was, um, uh, when stars collide, we cry. And then I was like, wait, that's pretty cool. So I kind of wrote around that.
Mm-hmm.
So I write both lyrics and like the music at the same time. I can't really write the lyrics first because that's really hard. I know that Elton John does that. That's really hard because sometimes like it doesn't fit with the melody that you want it. So you're like, okay, what?
So you like doing the lyrics and the music simultaneously. You like figuring out your chords and all that. Mm-hmm. Interesting. I need my music done.
I know that. That's crazy.
I need it done because if I'm sitting there trying to write lyrics, I'm gonna just be caught up in like, I don't like where that chord's going. Like I'm gonna have to go back and fix a snare drum or whatever. Yep. I can't do it if I'm writing lyrics. But once again, I'm not writing lyrics that often. So it's mostly music. So that's funny when you say that usually when you're writing stuff, it's when something happens, an event or something, and you're kind of reactionary. I'm writing music so often now where it's like where I'm on a deadline. I just have to write music. You know, I always have to be writing, and unfortunately don't have time to be inspired, which sounds kind of messed up, but it's true. It's just like, it's a gig, you know, it's a stock in the shelves at Target. It's just like, this is what I got to do. I got to make a chorus. I got to figure out the bridge. Like, this is like, that's how my mind is now when it comes to music.
Yeah.
Does it seem unartistic? I don't know. I think it's more of a process. Everyone's got a different process.
No, I think
it's a different thing because I'm not pulling too much because I'm just doing mostly instrumental. So like, how am I supposed to put a breakup into an instrumental?
Yeah, exactly. I know. Which I was I mean, it's cool. I wish you know, I was writing songs every day. Like I wish that was my job, which is what you do, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, almost every day.
Almost every day, yeah. I wish that was my job because I'd be happy, and like I'm pretty sure that my process would change if that was the you know, the
I'm here to learn from the masters, Kyle says.
Yeah, I mean everyone. I think it would change. Like my process would change if I had to work in a deadline, like within a deadline and stuff like that. So
I wonder what my process would be if I just started really just pulling from just the pure emotional stuff. I wonder how. I guess one of my EPs is that, and it was full of 9-minute heartbreak epics. So I guess that's what I do when I get emotional. Is I'm like,
love that
this song is gonna have 8 motifs, bunch of different weird time changes and key changes. Yeah, it just gets weird. So maybe that's where my head lives. But it's so funny when I sit and work on stuff. Like me and Sean today, we're working on a song that we're pitching, and it's supposed to be kind of a K-pop vibe song. Yeah. And it's just like I'm going through. I just have this mental checklist, depending on what type of genre or whatever. I have this mental checklist of like the different things I want to do for these songs, and we're just going through. And I was just like, okay, I gotta add in the bass. I gotta add in this part. There's a part here in the verse that I want to do, and I sit there and I listen, and I'm just like, what is missing? If you sit there and you're like, it's never done. Like you keep just chopping at it, you'll drive yourself nuts. So there's got to be a point where like, I think
you have to stop.
Yeah, I think there was a point. You know, Sean has a baby now. I don't know if you knew that. He's got the baby.
Yes, yeah.
So he's like holding her, and like I'm trying to work on this thing, and we're just looking at each other like, I think this thing's done. Like he's over it. He's got the kid. I'm like putting as much as I can, trying to spruce it up, and I'm like,
I think it's done. Yeah,
I think it's done. We sent it, and the songwriter we sent it to, who's our intermediary for who we're sending this to, said, "Cool, we're in good shape. We'll get it going." So you know, sometimes you end up doing more than what's needed, and and what I realized, and this is how we have fast turnaround time. It's just we just need to do enough for what the project calls for.
Yeah,
you know, if it's a personal project like a song you're releasing on your own, your own single or whatever, you definitely do feel closer, so you're a little more selective about how you're releasing. But not that we aren't being selective about what we send, but we're just like, we know what they want for this, let's leave it at that because we got to move on to the next.
Yeah, exactly.
Next thing. That's awesome. I love that you're working on some new material. What's going on right now? You got some new songs. You put up. I saw you put up a post the other day of a new original. Is that something that's going to be up? I think it was maybe it was a couple weeks ago.
Oh yes,
Shelter, was that what it was
called?
What's going on with that? Do you have other material like that?
I do. I was writing a lot earlier in the year, and like I wrote a lot of songs and I've sent them to you.
Mm-hmm. I've heard a bunch of them.
Yeah. I was unemployed, so I wasn't doing anything. So
you were really cranking out. At least you were being productive.
Yeah. And I'm set to release an EP. I am, because I have enough songs to do it, and I am really proud of these songs. But I'm just having trouble. Like like some songs aren't done with production. Like Shelter is it's in high demand. I know that people want it because
you put the little teaser like that. People want to hear it. You know, they want to be able to listen on Spotify or iTunes.
Yeah. It's funny because I posted that back in January, and it's been getting hella likes, and I've been getting a lot of follows. It's literally at 1,000 likes.
Wow.
And I'm still getting likes from it till this day. Like, I think the last like I got was on that was 3 hours ago.
Oh wow! So it's still kind of finding its way into people.
It is. And I was actually going to.
I think that's a good barometer. Don't you think that's a good barometer of like, this is something I should release, right?
Yeah, it's just hard. After writing No One Loves Like I Do, I gave that like with all my heart, because I did everything. I did the production, I did the writing, I mixed and mastered it, and I'm so happy that I've done that myself. Because it's a new skill set that I have in my
sounds
toolbox.
Good too. Make sure you guys listen to
Thank you.
Record. It sounds really good.
My gosh. I had so many versions like exported, but after
I know exactly
so many versions.
You go to your bounces folder, and it's like version 2, version 3,
version 3. Plus.
I realized how to make that cleaner for me is I put a date and then a version, so it's not like
that makes sense.
Version 50. It's like version 4/11/23 V1, and then you have
V1
V2,
and the new one.
You know. Because you'll do this. This is I know this has happened. You'll bounce it. You have it on your phone to listen to. You go in your car. You go get a coffee or whatever.
Yep.
You listen in your car. You're like, nope, that's not it.
Nope.
You go back literally right back to your computer where you probably didn't close the session, and you adjust the thing you need, and then bounce it right. and then bounce it right away.
That's me. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah. No, but like I worked so hard in that song because I wanted to develop I guess this tone that I really wanted, and I wanted to sound like it was like high production, and I wanted it to be cool. And then I played it for a few of my friends, and they were like, "Wow, this is so cool! This is so cool!" I was like, "Okay, cool." And then
I think achieved. As far as high production and sound wise, I think that's
Thank you.
Achieved. That's the goal.
Yeah, of course. I worked so hard on that song. I literally wrote it in I wrote and produced that in probably a week.
Yeah.
And so like after working in a really on a really high production, a really it took a lot like for that, especially mixing.
Mm-hmm.
It just it kind of it takes all of your energy, and after writing a really good song like that, it's kind of hard to bounce back and write something even better, if not the same level. And with Shelter, I wanted it to be an easy song to write and record, which it was. It was an easy song to write because my inspo was Tennessee whiskey. You know?
Oh sure,
yeah, and I've gotten
there's a version by Chris Stapleton. I think that's really nice.
Yeah, that one. So and I just listening back to that to Tennessee whiskey, I was like, oh, it's really simple. It's really simple. I think I can do it. But it's much harder when it's like a very simple like song. Like to me, like if it's just drums, bass, and guitar and piano, it's kind of hard to kind of make it really full and really sound really nice. And so I've just been stuck in the production, and after working with myself for so long, it's like I get really like repetitive, and I wish I could like ask like somebody like, hey, can you play the guitar for this song? Because
that's a nice way to break that part of it.
Yeah.
The other thing,
but I don't have musician friends here.
Right. I mean, that's the next. That's obviously the next step is growing that community for yourself.
Yep.
But the other thing I would tell you is, I think you have to go to each project separately, and you can't sit here and compare what you're doing with Shelter to your previous single.
Yeah.
Or like what you did on the previous single. It's its own thing.
Yeah.
That lives in its own world. And if you sit there and you're like, this isn't gonna be as good as the other one, it's like it's different. I think you have to look at it that way. And maybe that will help you kind of break through the idea of trying to make it this really big thing. When you said it yourself, it's a simpler tune. So maybe if you approach it in that mindset, maybe you'll find that it's a little closer than you might feel.
Yeah, it's like almost done, but I'm just having trouble with
just like that little extra.
Yeah,
extra
it's
step.
the guitar. It's the guitar.
Yeah, I think
as much as I am okay at the guitar, there's some things that I can't do, and I wish that like I can just give it to someone else and they'll do it for me. And
me and Sean have hired plenty of instrumentalists to do stuff. We've hired keyboard players, guitar players. Me and Sean both play keyboard and guitar, but we brought in other people just because we just don't have the ability to achieve what we want for the song.
Yeah,
so I don't think there's anything wrong with kind of outsourcing that, as long as you, and this goes to everyone out there watching and listening, as long as you compensate your, the people you're bringing in on your track properly, because, musicians and producers, engineers, we all need to get paid. So, if you want pro help, treat them like a professional. No pro bono.
No pro bono. Yeah.
No pro bono. Like
no pro bono. Guys.
We'll pay you in exposure. It's like no. I'm trying to pay for the gas to get to the studio,
to the session,
to the session. So pay me. So I totally get where you're coming from, but that would be my advice. Number one,
of course,
don't compare it to what you've done before, because we know what we've done before. And we know it sucks. We know what we did before when we started with sucks. You're always in my mind. You're always going to be kind of raising the bar to yourself.
Yeah, every time. Of course,
that's just through pure experience. So you might feel like you're not hitting what the last track did, but it's a different thing. You're exploring a different direction. So, how many songs do you think would be on that EP?
Probably maybe 5 or 6. I have one that's done. That I mix and mastered, but I might tweak it a little bit. Like that one's done. So I basically have like maybe 3 done already.
Have you considered, as opposed to EP, releasing them as singles, just on a kind of more frequency basis?
I wanted to release as much songs as I can, like back to back, but I've been wanting to make a body of work instead of just releasing singles, because I've done that in the past already. Like I was actually gonna release an EP like later on last year, but then I didn't really like the songs that I was making, and so I kind of like took a break, and then I found some inspiration, and like I stopped writing for months last year. Like I was dry because I didn't really know what to write until like in the beginning of this year, and like it just sparked, and I was writing constantly almost every day.
Right.
And
at least you got back into the
yeah. And now I'm also taking a break because I do have a job, and it's really like flexible. So I don't know why I think I'm just like putting it off mentally because I know I can't tackle it. Because every time I try to tackle a song, I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I if I don't know what to do if I'm not motivated through it, I don't touch it because I don't want to mess it up.
You do. It is always important to like let it rest.
Yeah, I let myself rest.
Yeah.
Sure.
I was talking to Farah last week. That was my guest last week, and she mentioned, someone in the chat asked, "What's the biggest challenge?" He said, "Writer's block." And then I kind of took her right on. I said, "I don't believe in writer's block. I never have writer's block. When I need to write, I can just start writing."
Yeah,
and the only
true.
The only reason that happens is because in the back of my mind is I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna fix this later. I'm gonna revise. Revision is the antidote to writer's block. Write crap. Write something. Put out whatever it is and get it out on paper. Record it. Just get it down. And all you have to do is just reopen the session and listen to it. Do something different and revise.
Oh,
that is
that's good advice.
That to me is the writer's block answer.
I like that.
You sit there and you're like trying to figure out what you're gonna do. Just put it out there, record it, go have a break, go have lunch, pick it up tomorrow, turn it on later this weekend, open the session, listen back and be like, you know what? You might end up going, wow, actually that wasn't bad at all. I thought I hated that, but that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Or you're like, you know what, this is bad, but now I have an idea.
Yeah, of what I want.
Of what I want for this. But it's not that, but at least I put something down and that's got me started.
Yeah.
That is like to me
I like that.
That's the answer to writer's block. Because there's just never a time when I sit down and I say, I can't think of it. There are times where I'm going through and I'm like recording something or like doing something on production and I'm like, yeah, that's enough for now. I will stop myself. That's the other thing I'll do. It's just be like, all right, I see where this is going. I'm trying a couple things. And yes, maybe it feels like writer's block, but it's less of like, I can't think of anything and more just like, I need to put this away and come back.
I need to rest and come back to it.
Yeah. Those are the kind of big things I do when I get into an almost writer's block situation. But, you and me are just writing so much nowadays that it's just like pouring out. So this is the best time. It's just like, let this stuff just kind of come out. So.
It is. Yeah. It is.
Love that advice, Kyle. I think you use that. I think you can use that particular mindset for any project you're working on. Creatively.
Yeah, for sure.
I think.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe some. I don't paint or anything, but I imagine like when you're painting, and you just paint whatever, and you're like, oh, this is kind of messed up. Or if you're giving someone a tattoo.
Yeah.
But both of those feel like it's a little bit more planned. I don't know. I guess maybe it doesn't apply to everything. No, I'm thinking about
I don't know about tattooing.
Yeah, maybe not tattooing, but like.
No, I get it. I think that's good advice. I think I'm probably going to use that advice.
It's a good way to push through because sometimes we're just like, especially like I said, I'm usually on the wire to like get stuff done. So it's just like, let's just get it out. And that's why I tell Sean, I'm like, listen, man, let's just send it. And if they have notes for us, then we'll take care of it at the notes.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times they're like, hey, can you just switch this or change this? Or a lot of times they're like, this is perfect. That's what me and Sean are like, we'll text on a separate thread and be like, dude, I'm so glad they took that. I wasn't there. They're gonna like it, So it happens, man,
Yeah, it does happen.
It definitely has other uses and comply to life in general. Yep, I agree. No regrets, No regrets.
No regrets.
No regrets.
No regrets.
All right. I don't want to keep you much longer. So, Andrea, please let the chat know and let our podcast listeners know where to find you online and, what you got coming up.
I see that my Instagram is down below. So
yes,
go follow me on Instagram. I'm more active there.
That's the main
musically. And yeah.
Well, you put up some nice reels and you got a nice camera. So your stuff looks really good.
Yeah, I recorded a song today. I haven't recorded in probably a month. I haven't used this in a month because I've been working.
Yeah.
And so and when I was unemployed, I would sing every day, and that's how I kind of developed my confidence. Like probably around in January. No. Like last year around November, I was singing a lot of like karaoke by myself because I had nothing to do.
Nice.
And yeah,
very Filipino sounding.
Exactly. Yeah, and like all of the songs I sang were, like Whitney Houston and all those big voices, which helped me develop a more confident voice that I'm super proud of. Like
Yeah.
like before, like when we were in LA um and we played the show in your backyard,
Sick show.
I was so yeah. I was still nervous. Like and like I could feel it in my voice because I wasn't as confident.
Right.
I wasn't as because I think in the back of my mind I always have that kind of like that resentment from when I was a child.
That's when you use that and
you
be
can't
like, I'm gonna prove these mofos
Yeah, I know.
wrong.
Yeah, I know.
That's
And
I think when you use that, right? Yeah.
exactly. And when I released my first EP, like everyone was like, "Wait, that's not you." Yeah, right. It's auto-tune. It's auto-tune. Yeah, and I got so many
That's the
haters from
best.
them. Yeah. And so
Right.
now I have developed this like this voice that I'm really proud of. And today I sat down and I was singing Defying Gravity, and I've only I did it -1, so I transposed it.
On
step.
the
Yeah, because it's really
transposition.
high.
Right.
Yeah, it's really high. Even though that I did it like lower, it's still high, right? But it's I reached it. I feel like I'm so happy that I've gotten to this point of my singing like career where I can sing almost any song and I can nail. Yeah, and now I'm like I love belting. That's all I do. Really,
That's
my
the thing that
range.
we are always asking you to do. Is we
Yeah, I
want you to
know.
belt.
I was never a belter. I was really a quiet singer, and I was always an alto. And but then like after I just did all the singing from like back to back every day, it was just
And now
like
you're
it
pushing.
got so much easier. Yeah, and like my range is wider. Like I couldn't sing. What was it? A Million Dreams.
Oh,
by,
sure. Greatest Showman. Yeah.
Yeah, like without doing falsetto, but I can sing that. Like
Now
no falsetto.
you're hitting it.
Yeah,
With
I
a
can sing.
full voice. Yeah.
Yeah, I can sing a lot of songs without falsetto now. I'm like that confident, and I love it.
That's good.
And people
Yeah,
beg
yeah.
me to sing now, so I'm just like, yeah,
You got it now. See, now they want to hear you sing, and they want to hear you.
Now they
music.
do.
So
yeah, so they can suck it.
yeah, they can suck it, dude. And you know what you should do? You know what you guys should do there? Wait,
What?
will you sing a song live? Andrea, can you do just like a little verse of like something, just like a little verse, just for
Okay.
our ears,
And like what song?
whatever. You could do your song. You could do a song you've been singing. Just give me a little verse. Kyle wants it.
I would play my song, but like I said, I don't know.
This is so on the spot. So sing like your song. Which one are you gonna sing?
No, I don't know like any of the chords of my song. That's what I'm saying. I can sing. I can't. How do I play like the instrumental? Or I can just play you like one of the songs. I can't do it live, but I'll let you hear the recording of the ones that I recorded today that I'm gonna post tomorrow.
Oh yeah, can you do that?
Sure.
Can you have that set up?
I forgot how to.
You gotta like route
I've got to do the
everything.
sharing. Yeah, because I haven't streamed in so long.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah.
I forgot how to do that. Maybe if I just send it to you, I can send it to you, right?
Send it to me. Put it in the Zoom. Put it in the Zoom.
Oh, okay. In
Zoom chat. I can just play it from there.
Yeah, I can do that. And you can play the whole thing. I don't care. My cover of Defying Gravity. Let me just send it.
Ooh, this is exciting. This is a first for the podcast. We haven't done this before.
Yeah.
It's usually been just chatting, but Kyle, the chat asked for it. We tried to deliver. We tried to deliver, baby.
Deliver.
We tried to deliver. We're Domino's, baby.
Deliver. Yes.
Farah, what up? Previous guest on the Matty Making Music Podcast. I struggle every time, especially lately. I must say Matty Worldwide because I've been so used to saying that over the last couple of years. But I'm trying to build the Matty Making Music brand.
Yeah, I saw that you and Farah and Vivian did this kind of like session in the studio. It was like a really cool like background.
We did a cool
That was
gig.
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
we did a gig, but that weekend we filmed some stuff too that weekend.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's
it was rad.
That's what I'm missing here in Houston.
Rad.
No one's doing that. So, I want to plan a trip to LA and I know that you wanted to do that songwriting thing, and like I want a week of just songwriting. That's the dream. Let me know when you're available.
We gotta make it happen. We need to get Sean a babysitter. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, and then we do sessions. Then we do like a small performance.
I think that's the move. That'd be so interesting to like rent a house and do that.
Dude, I don't
know what
down.
The logistics. Me and Farah talked about this already. Like the logistical part of it sounds like a complete nightmare.
Yo,
it sounds logistically like a nightmare, but
I'm so down to move to a writing house in LA and just like write. I'm positively down. Like I will do that for sure.
That'd be the dream. Just like
let's do it.
You know how they have like gamer houses where they have gamers and live streamers? Just do that for just like writing. We just have like a couple studio rooms. We just have like equipment set up in every room to just like lay stuff down and put it together.
I'll bring my guitar. I'll bring everything. Come on.
Sick. All right. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do this so I can have the audio in the podcast itself. So what I'm gonna do, I realize what I'm going to literally count down and just play it, and then just match it up to.
Will I be
match it up in there?
Will I be able to hear it?
I'm going to try. Let me see. Share. Is it left? Let me do this. Advanced sharing options. Oh, it's under share screen. I got it. Advanced computer audio. I think that's it. All right. Playing in 3. This is for when I'm editing the podcast later.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll cut this part out, or maybe I'll leave it in there. So 3, 2, 1.
Something has changed within me. Something is not the same. I'm through with playing by the rules of someone else's game. Too late for second guessing. Too late to go back to sleep. It's time to trust my instincts. Close my eyes and leave. It's time to try to defying gravity. I think I'll try defying gravity. Kiss me goodbye, defying gravity, and you won't bring me down. I'm through.
Oh, you start belting here?
Cause someone says they're so. Some things I cannot change, but till I try, I'll never know. Too long I've been afraid of losing love. I guess I've lost. Well, if that's love, it comes at much too high a cost. I'd sooner buy defying gravity. Kiss me goodbye, I'm defying gravity. I think I'll try defying gravity, and you won't bring me down. I'd sooner buy defying gravity. Kiss me goodbye, I'm defying gravity.
Yes, sir.
I think
Go ahead.
try defying gravity, and you will bring me down.
All right. I think you're still good.
Oh yeah.
So Defying Gravity is your song, or is that a cover?
No. It's a cover from Wicked.
Oh,
It's
it's
a
from
Broadway
Wicked.
show.
It's Wicked. It's
Yeah,
Wicked.
it's from Wicked.
That's why I was like, it's got some Broadway vibes. I was like, oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Broadway songs.
Oh no. I was I don't know. I was bored and I wanted to sing a song, and I've sang like the same song the past few weeks. So like,
So
I
I
don't
think it
sing
sounds
it.
fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I still have to. I still have to tweak it because it's peaking.
Mhm.
Thank you, Farah.
But you're gonna put that on your. That'll be a reel you'll put out.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I wanted to collab with Day on this song, but I think she's busy with school, so I'm just like, I'll just do it myself. Yeah, I know. So I'm like, I'll just do it myself.
Yeah.
Had to find gravity.
Yeah, I've been putting out some reels myself. A lot of it has been
I see
me doing some React videos.
Yeah, I
and
know.
stuff,
I love it.
Very
So
like
legit.
produced stuff. And what I've been doing is when I do these streams, if I'm doing a React video, I just I record them and then I just like cut them up, and then that's instant content for reels too. So I'm trying to just like, create content. I even have our podcast in the last couple of podcasts, me and Farah, recorded in vertical, so they're ready to go.
Great.
As a vertical content too. So I got to. The only thing is I need to go through and actually cut them up, but that's pretty easy. You know? Fantastic. One more time, Andrea K. Fern at. I should have said at first. At Andrea K. Fern. You brought back the K. Or did the K never went away, or was that something else?
Away. It never went away on my socials.
It was for the other app. It was the other app.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. And the guys in the chat know what we're talking about. Cool.
Yep. They know.
At Andrea K. Fern right there. Check out her music on. It's on all the streaming services. Yep. But you would look up Andrea Fern.
Yeah, Andrea Fern.
Andrea Fern. You'll find music. Is there anything else I'm missing for you? Anything else you want to plug? Put out?
Yeah. There? I'm going on tour. I'm joking.
That'd be so sick.
I wish. Come on, Matty. Let's do the right thing.
What you should do is your tour follows the same cities that Taylor Swift goes to.
Yeah.
Just buy your ticket the day after. Just stay one more day in Tucson.
Yes, guys.
And then come see me.
A tour. It's only going to be 30 minutes because I only have like 5 songs.
30 minutes worth of songs.
Guys, I don't have that many songs. I'll do some covers here and there. Maybe an hour.
Oh my gosh. Andrea, thank you so much again for hanging out
having me
on the MattyMakin Music Podcast. Almost said Matty Worldwide. MattyMakin Music Podcast.
MattyMakin Music.
You'll be able to see the replay of this episode on my YouTube on Thursday. You'll have it available on Spotify and all your favorite podcast apps on Thursday as well. So you'll be able to check it out. Especially if you haven't seen it, you can, or you didn't catch the entire thing, go in there and check it out.
Yeah, you can check out. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I love it. You can check out past podcasts with Forever Music. I feel like I never say that. Forever Music. Whatever.
Forever.
And then my podcast with my partner, Sean Day, where we dig deep into his origin story, his superhero origin story. So we do have another podcast lined up for next week. We got one of the artists that me and Sean produced, and now a really great friend, and we enjoy a lot of things in common, especially pro wrestling. So me and him talk. We talk music, and then like after music talk, we jump into pro wrestling. So
pro wrestling.
My buddy Charles Grace, he's going to be our guest next week. So make sure you tune in for that next Tuesday. And then, you check me out at, I have mine in the corner up here, MattyMakin Music. You can check me out on all the socials.
Subscribe.
And then also check out the music on Spotify and iTunes. You'll love the music on there. It's fucking heartbreaking music. So you'll really enjoy that.
We love it.
Yes. Anything else? Andrea, do you have anything else you want to add?
No, that's it.
I'm going to...
Thank you, guys.
I'm going to just start up your song, No One Loves Me Like I Do. Or Loves Me Like I Do. Let that start playing. That'll play us out. And then you and me at the same time, synchronized, are going to say, bye. 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 We'll see you later.